Hi, this is Rick Springfield, drinking a Starbucks here in Malibu. Thanks for logging on to RetroRewind.com. See ya.
Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind. One-on-one.
All right, Dave Harris, Retro Rewind with our good buddy Rick Springfield. Rick, we're enjoying a kind of a dreary day here in Malibu at Starbucks. What did you get to drink there?
This is my drink. It's a wet grande. Wow, there's so many names. Grande wet non-fat cappuccino.
There you go. Because you're a healthy man, right?
Yeah. That's my one. Well, not my one vice, but it is. It's a vice that I hold on to very dearly. And this is. I think this Starbucks is the most successful Starbucks in America.
Are you serious?
That's one of the ones in Malibu. Is the most visited Starbucks in America.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's no chance of it disappearing anytime soon, which I'm very happy about.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So you've lived out here for a while, haven't you?
I've lived here for about 25 years, yeah.
Wow.
It's the longest I've lived anywhere. I mean, I always said when I had because I traveled there all the time, and I always said when I had my kids, I'd settle in one place, because it used to drive me insane traveling, being the new kid in school all the time. So we did. We settled.
That's kind of how I am with radio. You know, you can imagine that that's a business that takes you everywhere too. You know, you go to better markets and stuff, but you know, once I started doing this show, I knew I eventually wouldn't end up out here, and I've got 6 kids.
Do you really?
So, yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's my youngest, who was born on my birthday last year, which was a great gift. And so we're trying to stay put ourselves.
Yeah.
So I can relate.
Good thing.
Well, I wanted to congratulate you on the new CD. It's your highest debut ever, and you returned to the top 30. It's been a little while. It's long overdue, I think. But what was that like for you to have some success with this one?
It was great. It's because I really believe in the record. I think it's a really good record. I think it's one of the best ones I've done in a long time, and I can still listen to it because we did it we recorded it in about 32 days. So I'm not sick of it, and in fact we just did a live version for Amazon of Saint Sahara, and I was just listening to that, and I still like the songs.
When's that going to come out? Is that for download?
Yeah, that's for download. Actually, I don't know if it's for download. It's for view. It's a video that we did with. I was just listening to the audio part of it, but it came out great.
Well, very good. Yeah, it's a good song. In fact, I was going to ask you about the recording process of this album. It was a little quicker. You said 32 days?
Yeah, 32. We demoed it real thoroughly, and Gomer trying to say hi. My dog's here.
Beautiful dog.
He's got his own MySpace, Gomer Springfield.
All right. We'll check that out.
So we demoed it real thoroughly, and we rehearsed for the first time. I've never rehearsed for a record before. So it went really fast, and we didn't look back. We laid things down and moved on, and when the mixes were done, we were hearing stuff that we forgot we put on. So it was really a very cool way to hear it.
Well, yeah, that's and a lot of those albums back in the day of the Beatles, or even some artists. I talked to Elliot Easton from the Cars the other day, and I think they recorded and mixed that first album in like 21 days. So you can actually do that stuff.
Absolutely.
Still.
Yeah, I think it's it's kind of part of the bloated excess of the rock business that's slowly getting weeded out with home studios and everything. That doesn't happen quite so much where you spend years on an album, but it still does. I mean, people are still doing it, but it's no fun at all. I've spent 11 months is the most I've spent on an album, and it gets so dreary and painful, and you hate it at the end no matter what. And it's probably the stuff you lay down first was just as good, and the demos are just as good as the stuff you finish. So we actually use parts of the demos on some of these tracks because we like the sound, and said, well, there's no point trying to go for something different. We like that sound, fly it over, and we put it on. You can do that now with all the digital stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you about this. And I could be wrong, but it sounds to me like you took some chances on this CD. And what I mean by that is, and I hope you're not offended, but it seems like to me like you trusted your vocals a whole lot more. Yeah. You're singing really strong on this one.
Yeah, well, I've always tried to hide my vocals in the track, and that's kind of been I don't think I'm the only singer that's ever tried to do that. So it's, I'm not ashamed to say it, but it's just not many singers really like their voice. You can tell the ones that do, but really not many singers like their voices. But I think I sang these probably better as well as I've sung anything, and I didn't mix them. I gave them to Chris Lord-Alge to mix, and a guy named Matt Wallace who did some stuff for did the Maroon 5 hits.
Okay, I've seen his name somewhere.
Yeah, so they're two great mixers, and I hate mixing. It's really a painful process to me. And mixing is when you, for those who don't know, it's when you put all the multi-tracks together, put the guitars, the drums, the vocals, and everything, and mix them, put them all together to make a final record, balance them all. And so I gave it to Chris Lord-Alge, and he mixed the vocals up, and I said, that sounds okay to me.
Well, he's great. Of course, his brother Tom too, right? Is that his brother? I'm assuming, Tom.
That is Tom Lord-Alge's brother. Yeah. Chris did the Malibu motorcycle gang is out. The bankers and the lawyers from the work during the week.
Right.
You hear them all every Sunday. They drive by here, and they're so freaking loud. Chris did the American Idiot, which I think is a great sounding record too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, absolutely. And that kind of leads me to one of my questions here down the road. Your writing, it seems like old school, to use a cliche on this. Was that on purpose, or did you start out that way naturally and it kind of developed into that?
I don't know. I don't really think about the writing process other than I'm thankful if it ever comes,
Yeah.
And I certainly, this is the first time we actually went into the studio, and I think since Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet, that I went into the studio with a band and we cut stuff live.
Okay.
And once Drum Machine started and I started just doing the production, I would lay the drums down, which is actually how Jesse's Girl was recorded. We just had a drums and a guitar, and then we added things gradually. So I kind of have always used that idea, but this time we just went in with a band because I have a great band, I have an incredible band, and Matt Bissonette, my bass player, co-wrote all the songs with me, which is a first for me. I've never co-written an album before, and it made a lot more fun for me. And so I think that's probably where the kind of the band feel comes from, and and that's why they sound so great live, because it's the same band, and we're doing them pretty much as we did it in the studio, without a couple of overdubs, of course. But certainly songs like What's Victoria's Secret harks back sonically to Jesse's Girl, but we did that on purpose.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
I think the song is so strong that we could afford to do that. We did it intentionally. It wasn't like, gee, I hope they don't notice,
Right.
So it was an intentional kind of nod to the whole Jesse's Girl thing. But like I said, I think the hook is definitely something. It's not Jesse's Girl, and I think it's very strong.
Retro Rewind.